I still check the locks on my apartment door 3 times before bed. It's been 8 months since I graduated, and I can't stop. It started second semester of junior year. I was taking this brutal organic chemistry class, the kind where the professors seemed to enjoy watching us suffer. I was barely pulling a C, and I needed at least a B to keep my scholarship. That's when I met Derek at the library. He was in my class, always sat in the back row, never spoke. But he approached me one night while I was having a breakdown over reaction mechanisms and said he could help. His study methods were unconventional, he said, but they worked. I was desperate, so I said yes. The first session was in his dorm room. It was strange. He had covered his windows with black fabric, said the darkness helped him focus. The walls were covered in periodic tables and molecular structures, but also these weird symbols I didn't recognize. He made me tea, some herbal thing that tasted bitter, and we studied for 4 hours straight. And here's the thing, it worked. I aced the next exam, so I kept going back. Twice a week, sometimes 3 times. Always at night, always that bitter tea. He'd quiz me while we sat in the dark, his voice monotone, almost hypnotic. Sometimes I'd zone out and lose chunks of time. I'd look at my phone and realize an hour had passed in what felt like 10 minutes. My roommate, Jess, started to worry. She said I was acting different, distant. I was losing weight because I kept forgetting to eat. I'd find bruises on my arms that I couldn't remember getting. Then one night, I woke up at 3 a.m. and found myself standing outside Derek's dorm building in my pajamas. I had no memory of leaving my apartment. I stopped going to the study sessions after that. Told Derek I was fine on my own now. He didn't react. Just stared at me with these empty eyes and said, "Okay, if you're sure." But he started showing up places. At the coffee shop where I studied, outside my apartment building, always just standing there, watching. I reported him to campus security, but they said he wasn't technically doing anything illegal, just happened to be in public spaces. The final exam was approaching, and I was panicking. I couldn't focus, couldn't sleep. I kept having these dreams where I was back in his room, in the dark, and he was whispering things to me in a language I didn't understand, but somehow knew. And the night before the exam, I found an envelope under my door. Inside was a tea bag, the same kind he used to make, and a note that said, "You'll need this. You can't do it without me. You know that now." I threw it away immediately, took 2 sleeping pills, and forced myself to sleep. The next morning, I walked into that exam, and I couldn't remember anything. Everything I'd learned, everything I'd studied, it was just gone. Like it had been wiped clean from my brain. I failed spectacularly, lost my scholarship, had to take out loans to finish my degree. But here's what keeps me up at night. Last week, I was going through old photos on my phone, and I found pictures I don't remember taking. Dozens of them. All from inside Derek's dorm room. Me and him sitting in the dark. And in every single one, my eyes are open. But I look vacant. Like nobody's home. And in the last photo, there are 4 other people in the room with us, all sitting in a circle. All with the same empty expression. I looked them up on Facebook. 3 of them withdrew from school that semester. 1 transferred across the country. I tried to find Derek after that. Searched the university directory, old class rosters, everything. According to the registrar's office, no one by that name was ever enrolled at our school. Senior year, I finally got a single room in off-campus housing. Or at least, I thought I did. When I signed the lease in June, the landlord confirmed it. Studio apartment, 4th floor, just me. Perfect. I'd spent 3 years dealing with nightmare roommates, and I was done. Move-in day was August 15th. I got there around noon with my parents. We're unloading boxes when the landlord, Mr. Peterson, comes up looking uncomfortable. He says there's been a mix-up with the paperwork and that I actually have a roommate, a girl named Kara. She'd moved in the day before. I was furious, but he offered me 2 months free rent if I stayed. I couldn't afford to walk away from that. Kara seemed nice enough at first, quiet, a little shy. She was a transfer student, didn't know anyone. She kept to herself mostly. Spent a lot of time in her room with the door closed. But small things started bothering me. She never seemed to eat. I never saw food in the fridge that was hers, never heard her cooking. When I asked about it, she just smiled and said she ate at odd hours. She didn't have a class schedule. I'd come home at random times, morning, afternoon, evening, and she was always there. Always in her room or sitting on the couch, just waiting. And she was too interested in my life. Where was I going? Who was I meeting? What time would I be back? At first, I thought she was just lonely, trying to make conversation, but it became constant, invasive. Then my things started moving. Small things. A hairbrush in a different drawer, my toothbrush facing the wrong direction, books reshuffled on my shelf. When I confronted her, she looked genuinely confused, said she'd never touched my stuff, and I wanted to believe her, but it kept happening. I started locking my bedroom door, but then I'd wake up in the middle of the night and hear it. The sound of my doorknob turning, slowly, testing to see if it was locked. I'd hold my breath in the dark, listening to her breathing on the other side of the door. In the morning, she'd act completely normal. My friends told me to find a new place, but I couldn't break the lease without losing my deposit, and I was broke. So I stayed. October came, and that's when I found her journal. She'd left it on the kitchen counter, open, like she wanted me to see it. Every page was about me, my schedule, my habits, my friends' names, sketches of my face from different angles, and notes. Learned how she takes her coffee today. 2 sugars, cream. She touches her neck when she's nervous. Her mother calls every Sunday at 6 p.m. There were pages dated from July, before she'd supposedly moved in, before I'd even met her. The last entry said, "Soon." I took photos of the journal with my phone and went straight to Mr. Peterson. Told him everything. He looked at me like I was crazy and said, "What roommate? You have a single. You've always had a single." I showed him the lease, my copy. It showed a single occupancy. He showed me his copy, also single occupancy. I went back to the apartment. Kara's bedroom door was open. The room was completely empty. No bed, no furniture, no sign anyone had ever been there, just bare walls and carpet. But her journal was still on the kitchen counter. I grabbed my essentials and went to stay with a friend. Didn't go back for 3 days. When I finally returned with 2 friends as backup, everything seemed normal. Kara's room was still empty. Nothing was missing. But when I checked my phone, I had 47 missed calls from my own number and 23 text messages, also from my number, all saying the same thing. "Come home, I'm waiting." I broke the lease that day, lost my entire deposit, moved in with my friend until graduation. Here's the thing that haunts me. Last month, I was at a wedding, and I saw her, Kara, standing in the back of the venue, wearing the same clothes I'd last seen her in. When I looked again, she was gone. I asked the bride if she knew anyone named Kara. She said no. But when I got home that night, there was a card in my mailbox. No postage, no return address, Inside, it just said, "I found you."